A winged creature glides over the mountains of China. A living pterosaur flies above Idaho, and a trail camera in England captures a horned, winged beast nobody can identify. These are real dragons caught on camera. Well, this looks like a dragon if I've ever seen one. Now, this footage is obviously pretty fantastical. It'd be easy to write off as AI, but the video's been floating around since 2016. Doesn't mean I'm saying it's 100% genuine, but it's not just some AI-generated slop, at least. The clip was uploaded by a YouTuber called Apex TV and runs for about 5 minutes. It claims to show a large winged creature soaring over a mountain range somewhere near the border between China and Laos. The exact location was never specified, which, depending on who you ask, is either suspicious or just adds to the mystery. In China, dragons are not just movie monsters though. They're deeply woven into the country's folklore and culture, seen as powerful, majestic beings. So, for a lot of Chinese viewers, the video did have a certain weight to it. There's also some conversation at the time that this could be footage of a living pterodactyl. There is a theory that pterosaurs, thought to have died out 66 million years ago, might not be as gone as we think. This footage also isn't AI generated. First hit the internet back in 2015. Clearly this is not a regular looking bird though. This thing looks like a pterodactyl. And where was this filmed? Some rural jungle in Brazil? No. Boise, Idaho. Wasn't that your first guess? To be fair, Idaho is no stranger to legends. It's Bigfoot country. Locals will also tell you about Charlie, the mythical monster said to lurk in the depths of Piatt Lake. But this video made the rounds online at the time. The clip racked up millions of views. It appears to show a pterosaur-looking creature flying over Boise in broad daylight. As you'd expect, the internet had thoughts. A lot of people wrote it off as CGI, but not everyone was laughing it off. Plenty of viewers came forward claiming that they'd seen something similar with their own eyes. One person wrote that their 12-year-old son and themselves spotted a nearly identical creature over their home in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, around 13 years before, and that they both looked at each other and said, "That's a dragon." Another account came from a man who said he encountered something over the Salmon River in Oregon back in 1991. He described a creature with a wingspan somewhere between 15 and 20 feet gliding overhead, around 30 feet above him. It glided silently, and I only lost sight of it when it veered right in a bend over the river approximately 200 feet ahead. My wife refused to believe my story until now, 30 years later, he wrote. The Bristol Zoo Project, a wildlife conservation park in England, posted something on Facebook on October 22nd, 2024 that got a lot of people talking. Their trail cameras had picked up something that had the conservation team, in their own words, a little stumped. The footage was captured on a night vision camera near the park's Bearwood habitat, home to bears of course, wolves, wolverines, and lynx. And what showed up alongside a perfectly ordinary deer was something nobody could quite put a name to. The creature appeared to have 4 legs, what looked like a horn or horns coming out of its head, and what seemed to be wings. The conservation team, who spent plenty of time watching these cameras, said it was like nothing they'd seen before. The zoo's public engagement manager, Rosie Sims, said, "Scotland has the Loch Ness Monster and Cornwall has the Beast of Bodmin Moor. We have discovered a similar mythical here in Bristol, perhaps?" They shared the image on Facebook and asked followers to weigh in. Most people landed on the fairly sensible explanation that it was probably a deer caught at a weird angle, but not everyone agreed. Like one commenter who wrote, "It's obviously a baby unicorn." This footage was uploaded in May of 2016. Nobody really knows where it was filmed. What we do know is that a young guy named Pito uploaded it. It was a really overcast, foggy day, and then something enormous showed up in the clouds. Pito just froze on the spot when he saw it, but managed to snap out of it and whip out his phone to start filming. First appears moving behind a tree, and even from a distance you can get a sense of just how big this thing is. Then it swings back around and you get a proper look at it. Wings stretched out wide, gliding through the dark, foggy sky. What do we think? Are we just writing this off as CGI? Well, some commenters say this could also be a large bat. A giant golden-crowned flying fox is what's known as a megabat. They live in the Philippines. They have a wingspan of 4.9 to 5.6 feet. Terrifying. What did this security camera capture running through this person's backyard? There are some interesting comments, everything from a chicken to a fox, but the most interesting comments, dinosaur. And yeah, I could see it. Looks like one of those baby raptors from Jurassic Park. The streamlined body position while also seeming to run on two legs, the long thick tail, pretty strange. The video was also captured in Florida, so some wondered if it could be a baby alligator, but it seemed to be moving a little too fast for that, and again, looks like it's running on two legs. What do you think about this one though? Share your thoughts down below. Back in 2015, a tourist named Jean Hernandez was outside a temple in downtown Bangkok when he heard people around him screaming and pointing at the ground. He looked down through a street grate and found himself staring at a massive lizard crawling through the sewer below. Hernandez got the whole thing on video and posted it to YouTube, writing in the description, "Yep, I was outside of a temple in downtown Bangkok and people were screaming and pointing to the sewer. There it was. I got the video to prove it." Locals told him it was a Komodo dragon, and he had no reason to doubt them. He also mentioned in a Reddit post that people there had told him Komodo dragons sometimes hunt in the city's sewers in packs, going after rats. Reddit predictably had their own thoughts. One user, just 'cause of it, was not buying the Komodo dragon identification, but he didn't think it was a mystical dragon or anything. He made a pretty reasonable case, saying Komodos can eat half a goat whole, so dining on rats in the sewers would not be enough. They're extremely dangerous animals and would be taken far more seriously than folks in the video seem to. Their best guess was that it was actually a water monitor, similar size to Komodos, but a lot more common in urban environments. Komodo dragon or water monitor though, the thing was enormous either way. Back in the summer of 1934, a Chinese newspaper ran a very bizarre story. On August 8th of that year, a villager followed a terrible smell coming from near the sea, and what they found at the end of it was a massive creature, long dead and mostly decomposed. The stench was apparently awful. The remains were discovered about 10 kilometers from the spot where, roughly a month earlier, locals had reported seeing a dragon-like creature fall from the sky. The bones were hauled to a nearby dock and crowds gathered around to see them for themselves. The bones were enormous, around 10 meters long in total with 28 vertebrae, and the skull had what appeared to be horns, each about a meter long. On August 12th, the Shenzhen Times ran the story, along with a photograph of the remains. Nobody ever officially identified what the creature was, but as I mentioned, there had been this crazy sighting of a large, winged creature before the bones were found. So let's dive into that too. So July 1934, Yankou City, China. For over 40 days straight, the weather had been absolutely relentless with constant wind and rain. Then, on the night of July 28th, people looked up and saw what was described as a massive creature in the sky. 2 horns, sharp claws, scales, and the next morning the Shenzhen Times ran with the headline, "Dragon Causes Disaster." According to the report, the creature came crashing down out of the sky and plunged into the Liaodong Sea with enough force to overturn 3 fishing boats and damage harbor buildings. 9 people lost their lives. Headlines about a new species of ant hit in 2016, and at the time it was being compared to the dragons in Game of Thrones, because it was 2016. Remember that show was actually popular before it totally crapped the bed a few years later? Anyway, scientists at the Okinawa Institute of Science and Technology Graduate University were exploring the tropical rainforests of Papua New Guinea, Fiji, when they came across 2 brand new species of ants. And when they got a proper look at them, the nickname pretty much wrote itself. These things looked like dragons. So they just went ahead and named them after 2 of Khaleesi's, Drogon and Viserion. No fire breathing, unfortunately, but they've got these menacing spikes running down their backs. Some researchers think they're to scare off predators. Lead researcher Eli Cernat had a different take though, saying the muscles in the spines may help them hold up their massive heads. Makes sense, given they have big, powerful jaws for breaking down food. That has been the video. We'll catch you, yes, you specifically, in the next one.